And I gotta address this because there's no way I could leave off this video without bringing it up, but does anybody, let me know in the comment section, how do you feel about Anthony Richardson? Does anybody actually believe he's going to be a franchise quarterback for the Colts? Me, personally, and this is just me, I wouldn't handcuff the kid. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I think it's about time we start having this conversation, and a serious conversation at that, about Anthony Richardson. I've hyped this man up so much in the past couple of months, and rightfully so. He's a heck of a talent, heck of a prospect. And to go on top of that, it's the main reason Colts drafted him. You could argue and say that he's an even better person off the field than he is on the field. He's got that charisma about him, and he has the professional quarterback type of mentality. But with that being said, and we're just jumping straight into things, we're not doing no intro, none of that. It's relatively simple. If you like the content, consider subscribing. And oh yeah, by the way, now that I think about it, we're only 3,000 away from 300K. So, if you're not subscribed and you like college football, some NFL content, consider subscribing. Anyways though, like I was saying, with all the hype surrounding this young man heading into the season, this year it hasn't gone according to plan. And it's very weird because normally when you talk about rookie quarterbacks and things not going according to plan, it's because their play has been awful. But for AR here, I don't think that's the case. His play's been okay. We haven't seen a lot of them, and I'll get to that in just a second, but from what I've seen, I've liked it. He's shown a lot of potential, and I'm actually curious. Let's pull up his stats because I have no idea what his numbers are even looking like. As far as it goes for the eye test, though, he definitely passes it for me for being a rookie. Okay, got him pulled up right here. He has 577 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, a QBR of 45, which does rank 22nd in the NFL. Not too bad. You do also got to mention and throw in there on the ground, he has 4 touchdowns, so he has more rushing touchdowns than passing touchdowns. Speaking of ground, though, that's exactly what we got to talk about, and it leads me to my main topic perfectly. In Week 5, the Colts and AR, they were playing the Tennessee Titans, and there was a play in which Anthony Richardson, he fell bad on his shoulder. At the time when I saw this, and I did see it live in action, I thought it was pretty bad. It reminded me of an injury that Bryce Young had when he was playing, I think it was Arkansas 2 years ago, or no, it wasn't 2 years, it was last year. It was a similar play. Bryce Young's rolling out to his right, and he falls bad on his shoulder, and he only missed a couple of games. His wasn't that bad, but Anthony Richardson's, it looks like it's way worse. And to make a long story short, all you need to know is he got hurt against the Tennessee Titans. And at the time of the injury, and even a few days after, we didn't know the severity of it. All we knew is that Anthony Richardson, he wasn't going to be playing in the following week, which was this most recent Sunday, and his arm was in a sling. And over the past couple of days, there's been a lot of conversation and talk of, hey, how bad is this injury? Is he going to be out for 1 week, a couple of weeks, or maybe the year? And late last night, the Colts owner, a lot of people were talking about it today, but last night, the owner stated this, quote unquote, the most likelihood is he's probably going to be gone for the year. I mean, it's not definite, but he probably misses this year, and we're going to have to contend with that factor. He also stated this, there's debate going on, but it's probably going to lead towards surgery in the next week or so. We're just trying to figure out exactly how and when and what we want to do and what Anthony wants to do. And I've read a couple different articles, and there's a bunch of quotes and blah, blah, blah. You get the point. Anthony Richardson, he's getting shut down. He's done. He's having surgery. I want to give you all the details and information, but at the same time, I don't want to overcomplicate it, and that's all there is to it. Anthony Richardson, unless a miracle happens, is done for the season. Already. You hate to see it. You hate to hear it. It sucks. It's unfortunate, and I hate to say this, but out of the 3 quarterbacks, Anthony Richardson, Bryce Young, and CJ Stroud, who did we all think was the most injury prone? Anthony Richardson. Why? Because he runs a lot. I'm not going to sit up here and say, oh, I saw this coming from 1,000 miles away, because you don't see something like this coming, but you can understand it. It makes sense. It was one of the biggest knocks on his game when drafting him. Hey, you're taking a guy in the top 5. They took him at number 5, right? And he's a scrambling quarterback. What if he gets hurt? And you have to evaluate running quarterbacks that way because it's a serious problem in the NFL. And when it comes to taking a quarterback in the top 5, top 10, or first round, you have to consider that. Is it really worth paying a guy 30, 40 millions and trying to make him a franchise quarterback if he's a dual threat quarterback who runs a lot? That's just a question they ask, and I'm asking you guys a question. I'm not saying there's a right or wrong answer, because we've seen running quarterbacks have success in this league. But I can tell you this much, we haven't seen running quarterbacks last as long as Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, quarterbacks like that. It's almost like, to me, I guess you could compare Anthony Richardson a little bit to Cam Newton. Yeah, Cam Newton, he was awesome for that 8 to 10 year span, but that's it. That's the window they have. A running quarterback like Anthony Richardson and Cam Newton, they probably have an 8 to 10 year window. Whereas if you draft a guy like CJ Stroud, who's not a running quarterback, Heck, I think he could play in the NFL for 20 years if he wanted to. Now, that's more than likely not going to happen, but you get what I'm saying. There's a larger window for pocket passers. That is, if they continue to be the starting quarterback and stay healthy. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but you get my point. Nobody viewed Anthony Richardson as a guy who's going to play in the NFL for 15 years. His window isn't going to be that long. And you know why it's not going to be that long? For stuff like this. He runs too much. I'm not knocking the kid because that's a part of his game, running the football. And I got to address this because there's no way I could leave off this video without bringing it up, but does anybody, let me know in the comment section, how do you feel about Anthony Richardson? Does anybody actually believe he's going to be a franchise quarterback for the Colts? He's only played in a couple of games, and he already got hurt twice. And it sucks we're having this conversation because I love the kid. I think he has the mentality to be an NFL starting quarterback. I think he has the game as well to be an NFL starting quarterback. We've seen it. He had a promising rookie season, but I don't know if he has the availability to be a starting NFL quarterback. You can't make a guy a franchise quarterback if he gets banged up every 3, 4, 5 games. You just can't do it. It throws off the team chemistry. There's too many question marks. You don't want that. And here's my question. Okay, he comes back from this injury next year. What if he gets hurt again in week 3? Or what if he gets hurt again in week 7? I don't want that to happen, but doesn't it seem like that's realistic a little bit? It is a tricky, and I mean a tricky situation because you don't want to handcuff the kid. Running is a part of his game. But at the same time, if you want this kid to play on the football field and to play on your team, you can't let him run as much as he has already. We've seen it time after time after time in the NFL. It's a recipe for failure. Look, I am not wishing injuries upon anybody, but if he continues to play the way he did this year, he'll get hurt again for certain. So at a certain point in time, when do you, as the owner of the Colts or the head coach, whoever, just say, all right, no more design run plays for Anthony Richardson, and hey, man, no more scrambling out of the pot. You can't do that. I'm curious, Colts fans, do you start to have that conversation, or do you just say, hey, we're just going to live with it. We're going to keep running the ball, and if he gets hurt, he gets hurt. It's a freak accident. Me personally, and this is just me, I wouldn't handcuff the kid. I'd say, you know what, this year you had a couple of freak injuries. It's going to happen. It's football. We're going to continue to run with you. You're going to continue to run the ball, scramble out of the pocket. I want you to continue running the ball 5, 10, 15 times per game. That's what I would do. I'd rather have a young man playing his game for 6, 8, 10 years than to not play his game for 10 to 15 years, if that makes sense. You just got to take a look at the facts, man. The less hits a quarterback takes in the NFL, the longer his career lasts. That's not my opinion. It's a cold, hard fact. So let me know how y'all feel about that. As far as it goes for Anthony Richardson, I hate this heartbreaking loss, and my prayers it goes out to him and his family. I think he'll be A-okay. He'll come back from this stronger, and meanwhile, he can learn the offense a little bit more and just improve on film study and stuff like that. Just because he's hurt, that doesn't mean he can't improve his game. There's a lot he can work on if he wants to. He seems like a smart young man, so I'm just going to label this as a minor setback for possibly and hopefully a major comeback. I just hope this isn't one of those injuries that lingers around for the next couple of years, and I don't think it will. There's many more things I could say, but that's all I got. Let me know your thoughts down below, but